you're doing well. So trying this different look. I normally turn this lamp off, but cause now that I'm shooting in the corner, I kind of like this look. And I just have the computer screen lighting my face, as opposed to having the big light, which... Oh yeah, I don't know, I might go with the dramatic look. I think it's a little more ASMR-y to not have the high key lighting and to just do the subtle. Or maybe I turn this down. That's a little better. I think it's low key and it's nice. Yeah. So, how are you doing? I am not doing super great, and I don't know why. The last couple days I've been feeling like super boned out and just not having a super good time. So I don't know what I think. I think part of the problem is that I feel like, I've been updating my goal sheet, which we'll get to here in a minute, and my goals for the year, and thinking about, especially updating my financial sheet of my, net worth, my debt, my investing, how my investments are panning out, how my debt has grown over, the last, and my net worth has gone down because if you're not in the stock market or paying attention to the stock market, last month, the month of May, was not a good month for the stock market. Everything is down. So that sucks. So my net worth it had gotten positive for the first time in a while, back in April, and now it's way negative. Even though I have aggressively paid off debt and been trying to spend less money. So that's fun. And I think it was a culmination of I don't remember if it was 2 or 3 years ago, I set a 3-year goal of I want to buy a house. And I feel further away, even if you take the housing market out of the situation completely, and how prices have exploded, even in just the last 3 years. My own efforts, my debt has gone up, my investments have gone up too, which is good, I guess, and my net worth in general is probably actually better than it was. So maybe it's not as bad as I thought when I first looked at it. But my debt has definitely gone up, and I know I need to pay off the debt if I want to, apply for loans, because my credit score right now sucks. Even, it's the credit scores are a scam, because it's I've been paying it off aggressively, and my credit score keeps going down, and it's what the fuck? When I had a lot of credit card debt, my credit score was 750, and now that I've been paying it off hardcore, it's down to 680, and you're what the hell? But I know your debt to income, you have to do that to be able to qualify for a house, and obviously having a down payment, which is where the investments come in. And then a large chunk of my investments is in GameStop still, because I still believe that company has some good stuff coming down the pipe. Whether or not the whole short squeeze thing happens, I think that's beside the point. I look at what Ryan Cohen did with Chewy.com, and I'm there's enough great ideas in gaming that if they can pull off some of them, they'll do very well. And they've got cash on hand. They seem to be getting their ducks in a row for some big things. So we'll see how that pans out. So I don't really want to sell that stock. And then the rest of the stock is just safe blue chips that I don't really want to sell either. So I have a lot of Coca-Cola, Union Pacific, 3M, IBM. So those are and then a bunch of ETFs, which are just broad index funds. So nothing too exciting. And I suppose I could sell it, but it's you might as well just keep it in the market because it's down right now. So what's the point? I mean, I guess there's something to be said for paying off debt, which the debt's accruing at whatever percentage. So I don't, that's a guaranteed return. But yeah, that's not how my brain works, I guess. So it's more exciting to me to pay off some debt, put some money in investing, and kind of ping pong back and forth. Yeah. So there's that. There's that side of things. But then in general, it's just like, I don't know, I just haven't been feeling good, haven't been motivated. I have so much to do. And none of it feels important. It's hard to prioritize any of it. And I just don't want to be doing a lot of it. I'm signing up for all these jobs that I feel like are less and less good fits for me, but I need to take them because I need the money. Obviously, because I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to survive, and that's the other thing. Is I feel like I'm just in survival mode, and I haven't been driving and thriving. I have been getting better at hockey, which is good, because I've been putting a lot of effort into that. But most other things, I feel like, are not going great. I bought a new computer. I got some new YouTube videos going up. My white noise channel is starting to get more videos. Now that I have a new computer, the renders are faster. I technically have two computers now that could do big renders. So I'm still in the process of switching the computers, but I think I'm gonna stick with this background. I like this background a lot. I might shut the closet door, and I might pull, these are exercise bands, I'll pull those off and clean up this lamp shelf and shut this closet door too. I think this is pretty tenable. And then maybe put an art piece over here. Where's it at? There. Something art here. And take that little plate off right there. That's just it's hard to explain. So yeah, let's get on to my goals. So question of the day, drop a comment. Are you tracking your goals? Do you have any goals for this year? If so, what are they? If so, how are you doing on them? And if not, why not? And can I talk you into setting up a goal today? Because I think having goals, well, sometimes it's crushingly depressive when you're not doing well. I'm not doing very well right now. It still gives me something to shoot for, and I feel like it motivates me to go a lot further, even if I failed, than I would have if left to my own devices. So my goals for this year were 100 hours of off-ice hockey skill practice, to ride 1,000 miles on bikes, to fast for 4,000 hours, which it has to be at least 12 hours to count, read 50 books, pay down debt, contribute $6,000 to my IRA, 50 park adventures with Bear, my dog, and this is a new one, is 260 visuals / hand lettering pieces. I always liked hand lettering, and there's this new trend on Twitter where you draw visuals of ideas, and I really like that. It's really cool. But I suck at drawing, and I'm not very good at hand lettering. So I'm like, fuck it, 260 feels like a good number to get started to where I can get from the point of functional illiterate drawing with his left hand to that kind of looks like something I understand. So I've been working on that. That was a goal that I just started, because originally it was woodworking, but I've kind of come to terms with the fact that I don't have space for even basic wood projects. The best I could hope for is borrowing somebody else's garage, because my garage is just too full of hockey shit, and getting the sawdust in the skates would just be not good. Then watch 365 films, because I do stuff with cameras for a living, and the visual language, cinema, there's something there. It comes across pretentious, but basically it's studying the craft, is watching other movies, and then to create 500 pieces of content, aka videos for YouTube. So those are the goals. Those are the 10 I set out to do. And here is the end of May / June 1st, June 2nd update, basically, because this includes some June 2nd numbers. So for 100 hours of off-ice skill practice, I'm at 1,080 minutes miles on bikes. I'm at 540, which puts me 12% ahead of pace. And that is also a 14% increase over last month, so that's awesome. Fast for 4,000 hours, I'm at 1,129 and a half. I don't even know if I added today's. I didn't. Let's add that real quick. Then we fasted for 16.5 today. So that puts me where I'm at. I'm actually at 1,146. So I'm down. I'm behind by 13%. But progress-wise, I made 5% progress, which is good. And for the record, you need about 8% progress to have made progress on the goal, I guess. So this is just progress over the last month. Let's see, 50 books. I've got 8, so I'm behind by 25%, which that's just a modest increase of 2%. Let's see, pay down debt. I set the goal at 17,000, which is like all my medical debt and some of my credit card debt. And I'm at 4,037. The problem is that just keeps slinging back at me. You know, the interest payments keep hitting me, and like I keep making, paying off a card, and then like today I had to go take my car to the mechanic, and that was $400. And so it's like every time I pay the card off, it's like fuck, I gotta use it again. So I'm at where am I? 22,000 or 22%. So I'm behind by 19%. Is that even any progress? Pay down debt. Yeah, it's up about 10%. So that's pretty good progress. Like I said, I'm aggressively paying off the debt. Contribute 6,000 to my IRA. I'm at 1,750, which puts me behind by about 12%. But I made some progress this month, not a lot. 4% increase this month. Park Adventures, we're at 8 out of 50, and that puts me behind by 25%, but it's just now starting to get into the nice days, so me and Barrow start going out more often. So we're at a 6% increase and a 12% increase over March, so that shows you it's gaining steam on that one. The hand visuals, the hand lettering and visuals was a new one. Starting last month, and I'm at 19 already, out of 260, because that's how many working days are in 2022. So obviously that's the goal I'm behind by the furthest, by negative 34%. But it's up 7% from the start, so that's pretty good. 365 films, I'm at 99, which puts me behind by 14%. 500 pieces of content, I'm at 74. By the time you watch this, it'll be 75. So I'm behind by 27% on that one, but I did grow pretty good, I think, on that goal. Yeah, it grew by 4%, which is about the biggest increase so far. So with the new computer I'm hoping that lights some fires. But all in all, I'm at 23.39% completion, which puts me off pace by 18%, 18.5%. Burpee. So yeah, that's, I feel behind on a lot of things in life, and I feel like I'm just surviving, and I want to be thriving, and I don't know, I think I always hit this existential wall where I'm like, how much will this really help? That was a weird noise. How much will this really help my life? And it's like, okay, well, my hockey is getting better. Riding bikes, I'm getting healthier. I can feel it. Every time I see people that I haven't seen in a while, they're like, have you lost weight? I'm like, well, kind of, but not really. It's like I'm putting on muscle. Maybe you can see it in my face if you go back to the really old, like the early videos. Like, I wasn't good at talking to the camera. I'm still not good at looking in the lens. I gotta work on that and get better at it. I think it's because I have a monitor right here that I can see myself, and I'm like, oh, I gotta see myself like a barricade. But my face is definitely a lot thinner than those videos from like 5-6 years ago, so that's fun. And I got a lot better at talking to the camera, so that's also fun. All you gotta do is do daily ASMR videos for like a long time and make like 700 of them. You'll get good at talking to the camera too, or at least less bad. But I could just ramble. Like, I don't write anything down. I just hit record and here goes. I think it's because I have like ADHD or something. I'm definitely not neurotypical. I know that much. I don't want to self-diagnose, but I know, like, when I see those memes, I'm like, a lot of these seem really familiar to me. Like, definitely might be autistic, might ADHD, maybe both. Definitely have anxiety or depression or something. I don't know. I need to see a therapist, but as long as I have this much debt, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to have another bill every month, and I'm like functioning, kind of. Like, I don't want to kill myself. So I got that going for me. Trigger warning, sorry. That's a whole other can of worms for me too, so if that's sensitive to you, I feel you. And I feel generally, I think I need to get away from the internet and the news. There's so much bad news, and it's just like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and like gun debates, and I'm like, oh god. And like earlier this week, a chemical factory here in Omaha caught on fire, and was on fire for like 2 days, and like the city has been kind of just like, and it's like, bro, the chemical fire, like chemicals in the smoke, like that's bad. Like there are people, like there's neighborhoods all around it, and you're just like, and the fucking mayor got remarried, and so she's on her honeymoon, so she sucks. She's never around when you need her, and she's like, Omaha is very segregated in that like the poor people live on this side of town and the rich people live on that side of town, and she's one of the rich people, and she couldn't give a fuck about anything that happens east of 72nd Street, basically. And so, yeah, she sucks. We don't like her. But yeah, it's like, what the fuck is in that air? And like, how far is it spreading? I'm lucky that I live several miles away from it. But I have a lot of friends that live close to it, and I'm like, and they're saying like their asthma is like flaming up super bad, and people who like don't have any kind of breathing symptoms are like, this sucks. It feels like I've been at like a smoky club for like 2 days straight, like. So like that's definitely gonna cause some long-term health effects in some people, like for real. And it's like, what do you do about that? You know, the fire department did their best putting it out, but it's like, it's a chemical company that like, let's like think about like if a propane factory caught on fire, and so like, you know, just constant, you know, and it's like, how do you stop that? It's just because every time you start getting it, like another tank explodes, and they can only get so close because of the explosions, but they did their best, you know. So yeah, just a lot of bad news I think is floating in my head, and I'm just like, man, I think I just need to get away from the algorithms that want to show me that, and get back into this stuff and focus on my stuff, like watching movies, making YouTube videos, doing some doodles, doing some drawings, going to parks, and then hopefully by making videos I can make money to pay down my debt, put it in my IRA, figure my shit out, eventually get to a therapist, and then a dentist after that, because I haven't been to a dentist in 5 ever. And that's another thing that, like, it's weird. It's like my anxiety about dentists always, like, it's like a backpack. No, that's a bad analogy. It's like a dog. It's like it sleeps and it hangs out most of the time. But then when I'm stressed out about money and I'm anxious and depressed, the fucking dog wakes up and is like, where are we going? And like, I want to come too. And it hops on. And it's like, let's go for an adventure. Like, let's go on the downward spiral of like, remember you haven't been to the dentist in like 10 fucking years. So that's what I'm struggling with right now. But talking about it feels better. So that's, if I have any message for you, set some goals. Because you can look at your progress objectively with numbers and be like, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Obviously I'm way behind, but like, you think 500 240 miles. That's the most miles. That's almost the most miles I've ever ridden in a year, period. But definitely by this point. So I might get this 1,000-mile goal for the first time. Because I've set that as a goal for like 5 years. And I'm gonna fucking take that fucker out. Go do it. And then some of these, like, I've read, I feel like the most books I've ever read was like 40 something. I don't know if I've ever read 50. I've done 365 films before, and I've done 50 park adventures before. And then 500 pieces of content is also very hard. Then the debt and the IRA, it's just gonna be discipline. I need to stop eating out so much. Because I realized, I was like, me and my girlfriend, I took her out. We were both feeling kind of shitty this last weekend, so I was like treating her, you know, it was like treat yourself, and I was like, we spent like $200-300 on meals, like in a weekend. Like, probably shouldn't do that again, because you're like, man, $300. Like, what if instead you spent like $5 and you made a bougie meal at home, and you spent like $5 each, you know, $10 total per meal, and that's only what, like $90, but still bougie, like for a $10 meal, you know, you can do a lot of stuff with $10 for a meal for 2 people. Anyway, so that's what I got going on. I hope you're doing well, and if not, let's talk about it, man. Let's drop some comments, and let's choose some fat and talk about your struggles, or start your own ASMR channel. 'Cause it's like, why the fuck not? Just talk about. I think talking to a camera is helpful. It's definitely probably not as good as therapy. I mean, I haven't been to therapy, so I don't know. But I find this therapeutic. This and playing hockey are like my 2 things. Because I think this occupies so much of my brain, because I just take the filter out and it's like, whatever, here it goes. And then in hockey, like, so much is happening that, like, it uses all of my brain, and I lose myself in it, and I can't think about anything else. So I'm very thankful for this channel. I'm very thankful for the people that watch. That this generates any money at all is a fucking miracle, I think. And I'm very blessed. That sounds so cheesy. Fuck. I don't want to be one of those people that's just like, I'm so blessed. Especially as I wear like a black metal band t-shirt. Like, great. Hail Satan. I'm so blessed. But I think that's the other part of it. Practicing the gratitude. Like, my health is generally okay. I got the diabetes thing, but my feet are pretty healed up. We have enough money for this apartment. My girlfriend just got a big raise. So, like, that's less stressful, because, like, she's still in school, so I'm bankrolling most of our expenses. I think that's part of what stresses me out so much, is that I feel responsible for another human being, and it's like, fuck, in a time where, like, work is becoming, it's not, I mean, it is less common, because it's like the type of work I do is becoming commoditized quickly, and technology is making it easier. So it's like making pivots, especially like, it's harder for me to take on a wedding job, because I don't know, 6 months from now my feet might be fucked up. I won't be able to walk around all day taking pictures, so I don't want to book those jobs. So I'm just not taking on weddings, basically. And I've got like 3 this year. It's just like hoping for the best. Which 1 is already done, so that's good. But yeah, it's like mostly just for like close friends, and that's it. So anyway, yeah, that's all I got. I got 23.39%, and we're gonna try to punch that in the mouth this month, because by the end of this month, half the year will be done. And so obviously I'm not getting to 50%, but like, if I get a 10% month, I'd be pretty fucking stoked about that. So that's what I'm aiming for. 10% month. I'm gonna fuck this thing in the mouth. I love that expression. A lot of people don't like that expression. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. And I feel like the short-term goals, that's the carrot. It helps pull me along. And I don't know. myself out of this death spiral. Because I'm not gonna fucking... I'm too stubborn and angry to let myself take myself down. That's it. That's all I got. So, thank you for watching. I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. I'll see you next time.